All right, Shalom. We back, and sorry for the interruption. We were fixing the live stream. We got it going. Hopefully, we can keep going for the second half, and we're gonna go swiftly into the second half and see if we can make it in a timely fashion. So now let's get a continuation of Second Maccabees chapter two. Chapter 2 in verse 3 now. We're in chapter 3. All right, so chapter 3 starts, it says, then his son, which is continuing from chapter 2, it says, then his son Judas, called Maccabees, rose up in his stead. So when Mattathias passed, now we have Judas, who took charge of running the operation. And it says, and all his brethren helped him. Remember, he had five sons. So it says all his brethren helped him, and so did all they that held with his father. And they fought with cheerfulness the battle of Israel. So they continue defending Israel to establish the law, statutes, and commandments, which the heathen was trying to take away from them or stop them from observing by implementing their own wicked custom. Verse 3. So he got his people great honor and put on a breastplate as giant and girt his warlike harness about him. And he made battles protecting the host with his sword. So he made battle, he got himself ready, and he started fighting. And he fought the enemies, and he won his battles because everybody knew what they were fighting for. In verse 4, in his acts, he was like a lion, and like a lion's whelp, roaring for his prey. So what he was doing was justified in his attitude or his action, what he did, the type of manner of character he was like a lion. For he pursued the wicked and sought them out and burn up those that vexed his people. So he was taking drastic action as Mordecai would expect him to. Is he the oldest? Is he the oldest? Not, I wouldn't be able to say.
Yeah, look at chapter 2. You have to assume those are the order they're born. That Simon was the oldest, but that's the assumption. I mean, you don't have that.
Right.
And Simon would be the second. Would be the third. If they go in order, he would be the third.
Right. So all the lawbreakers, they shrunk. In verse 6, as we read, it says, wherefore the wicked shrunk for fear of him, and all the workers of iniquity, because salvation prosper in his hand. So this man, he was on a mission, and he was succeeding on his mission. Whatever battle that he went in for, he won. And because of that, people who were wicked shrunk. All right, so he established some sort of appeasement to Israel. In verse 7 now, he grieved also many kings and made Jacob glad with his acts, and his memorial is blessed forever. So now the kind of work that he did was so much that Israel was defeating many kings. So he put many kings to rest, and he pretty much vexed many kings. And also, as he was vexing those kings for their wrongdoing, Israel were rejoicing. Were rejoicing. Verse 8. And it says also his memory is blessed forever, which is evident even unto today. We are reading about him, about his deed and what he did and the acts that he led, right, in order to get the children of Israel to be able to follow their custom. Verse 8 now. Moreover, he went through the cities of Judah, destroying the ungodly out of them, and turning away wrath from Israel, so that he was renowned unto the outmost part of the earth. And he received unto him such as were ready to perish. So wherever he goes, wherever he fight battles, people know not to mess with him. So he was a renown to the end of the earth. Right? So he gathered those who were perishing, the Israelites, right? In verse 10 now, it says, Then Apollonius gathered the Gentile together in great hosts out of Samaria to fight against Israel. So now he was a force to reckon with. So now they had to come up with a different strategy, bring a stronger army to see if they can defeat him, because he started to become a problem. So now Apollonius now got together Gentiles, right, our people who were in Gentile frame of mind, since they understood the law, right. It would be good to get them as recruit so that they can gather together to invade Israel or eventually get rid of Judas. A large force from Samaria to fight against Israel. So now, when Judas learned this, which when Judas perceived or learned this, he to meet him, and so he smote him and slew him. Many also fell down slain, but the rest fled. So when Judas found about it, he decided to go and meet him. Right, this man was not a not a coward. You heard that you have beef and you come and do, uh, you know, destroy them or cause harm to the people. He will meet you. Just like you say, meet me halfway. Right. In verse 12, wherefore Judas took their spoils, and Apollonius sword also. So not only that, he took his sword. Apollonius' sword, right? He was the captain of the heathen who came to fight him in battle. He killed him, and he also took his sword. Right. And you know those heathen, they believe in their swords and they spend a lot of money. Right? They have nice swords. So that was a nice sword. You could imagine that Judas Maccabees took. And let's see what he's gonna do with that sword. He's probably get that. He said, "Man, that thing is nice," So he's gonna take it, and then we'll see what he's gonna do with it.
David and Goliath took Goliath's sword.
Right.
Yeah, it's like a warrior's code kind of thing. You take on the big guy, take his sword. That's how it works.
Right.
It's like a sign.
Wherefore Judah took their spoil also, and therewith he fought all his life long. So he was a dedicated warrior. He fought all his life long. That's what he was made for. Made to fight, right? Made for battle, right? And Israel made for battle. Born in Israel, made for battle, right? That was his motto. His motto. So now in verse 13, he says, "Now when Sharon, a prince of the army of Syria, heard say that Judas had gathered unto him a multitude in company of the faithful to go out with him to war, he said, I will get me a name and honor in the kingdom. For I will go fight with Judah, and them that are with him would despise the king's commandment. So now defeat to defeat Judah, that would bring you great honor, because this man so far he's undefeated. Right? Whoever defeat him, since his name he's already all throughout the earth. Your name will be throughout the earth as the one who beat the undefeated. It's like in boxing. You know, the guy always wants to beat the one that hold the title, because once you beat him, automatically that puts you on the top and everybody will know you. So now instead of back down, he said he's gonna meet him also headway, so that he can fight him. Right? So that's gonna be interesting. So now in verse 14, he said, I'm sorry, 15. So he made him ready to go up, and there went with him a mighty host of the ungodly to help him, and to be avenged of the children of Israel. So now, when he came near to the going up of Bethron, Judah went forth to meet him with a small company. So it's always, you always go to meet him. He doesn't let him, come and find him. As soon as he know you coming, he also coming. He's on his way also, right? So ready to fight. So, and when he came near to the going up, I'm sorry, verse 17 now. Who, when they saw the host coming to meet them, said unto Judas, how shall we be able you to fight against so great a multitude and so strong, seeing we are ready to faint with fasting all this day? So now the fear start to set in, because once you see the appearance of a large army and you look around you, you're like, man, all these days we've been fasting and fighting. And when you fast, right, you your flesh can become weak, right? And as we read here, it says we've been fasting all this day, and now how can we have strength to fight? See how Judah's gonna reboost their morale and bring him back up to speed in the spirit. Unto whom Judah answered, it is no hard matter for many to be shut up in the hands of few. And with the God of heaven, it is all one to deliver with a great multitude or with all a small company. So regardless strong, regardless quantity, Most I can deliver anyone out of their hand, right? And that's what he believes. So his belief system was strong. So he had faith to go out there and work because of his belief. And he understands the same Mosai that fight with the other enemies, he's the same Mosai, and he can conquer any enemy regardless of numbers. That was his belief, and he spoke this word to his guys so that they can get some strength or some courage to not, be afraid to fight the other army. For the victory of battle standeth not in the multitude of an host, but strength cometh from heaven. So he knows where strength come from. So it's sort of like everything happens in the spiritual realm and then transmitted back to us here and for execution, right? So the same original substance where everything created, it's the same original substance that he believes in, right? The substance of the Mosai that allow him to be able to have the courage and the might to go and defeat these people. So that same strength that he has, that he put his trust in the Most High, is the same strength that's going to help him with this large army that seemed to be very sophisticated. It says, verse 20, they come against us in much pride and iniquity. That's that first mistake that's going to destroy him. It says, to destroy us. First, they got pride, right? And our wives and children, and to spoil us. But we fight for our lives and our laws. Wherefore, the Lord himself will overthrow them before our face. And as for you, be ye not afraid of them. Now, as soon as he had left off speaking, he lit suddenly upon them, and so Sauron and his host was overthrown before him. So as soon as he's done speaking, it's time for action. I'm done talking, and then he leaped. Boom! Next thing you know, they were gone. So now, if it wasn't the Most High, I mean, tell me who it was, right? At one point they were afraid, but in the same time, right, they were able to overcome the enemy. So that's something to really think about and ponder upon. So regardless of the quantity that you see in front of you, don't be afraid. Wherefore the Lord himself will, I'm sorry, verse, no, that's verse 24. And they pursued them from the going down of Bethron unto the plain, where were slain about 800 men of them, and the residue fled into the land of the Philistines. Right? So they chased them, and they ran, and he was able to overcome them and 800 of them were slain, and the rest they fled.
Doing that is small army, taking a small army.
Yeah. Keep in mind, the chasing that he's chasing them is to get rid of them, so that the more he can kill, the more he has, the less people he has to torment Israel. But as he chased them, they ran, so you know that they're gonna regroup at some point in time. So now, after he did this, he made a statement, right? The action that he took constitute of a statement. The statement is this in verse 25. Then begun the fear of Judas and his brethren, and it's right. As long as they continue to persecute Israel, you next. So got the report, and he was very angry. So he sent to God a force just pay for a year. So he gave him an event. What happened? The army. Nevertheless, when he saw that fell and that the tribute in the country was small, because of that